listening to Earth Oddity, a weekly odyssey into all the oddity planet Earth has to offer. And now, serving it up are Christopher Tiny Sullivan and John Long.
John, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Tiny. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. What a week. Man, it has been quite a week. How's it looking over there on the long front?
It's been all right. Been a little under the weather. Had to go to the doctor yesterday and get a couple of shots and all that. But I'm okay. No flu or anything.
That's good, because tell you what, the flu this season,
it's wrecking everyone.
It scared my family away from church. I'm the only one, holding the fort down here.
Yeah, well, with the young child, a baby, you definitely need to keep them in. But
that is true.
It ran through our house. Hudson and Libby both had it a few weeks back, but I've gotten away from it. I just had a sinus infection or something I couldn't get rid of, so I went yesterday and got a steroid shot and something else, some antibiotics. I was up all night last night.
Your voice definitely sounds better today.
Yeah, it's got that much more radio.
Yeah, it's got that deep, sultry sound.
You're listening to Earth Oddity.
Oh man, well, big news for the listening community. You can now listen to us about anywhere podcasts are found. We did a whirlwind job of submitting the podcast to a whole bunch of podcatchers this week. So now you don't just have to listen to us on the Podbean app. You can listen to us on iTunes. We are available on Stitcher Radio.
That's right.
We are available on Google Play Music.
Ooh.
And we're available on YouTube. You can listen to us. We have a YouTube channel, and it's still a podcast, but it'll be in YouTube form.
Yeah, we'll eventually go to video at some point in time once we have enough listeners who won't be scared off by our appearance.
Yeah, I know. I don't know about you. I have a face for podcasting.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think sex appeal is going to pull too many people in.
No. So. At least not on my end.
Yeah, me either.
And also, there's a whole bunch of other podcatchers out there because a lot of them just refresh from iTunes. I personally am a big fan of RSS Radio. That's the app that I use, and we are available on there. It felt kind of special when I updated my podcast list and the catcher I use, and there we were. So
yeah, no, it felt like big time getting on iTunes.
yeah.
I was like, wow. I imagine that's like seeing your name in lights if you're in a rock band. You finally get on the marquee somewhere.
And also, it is very, very important for everyone to go rate us 5 stars.
Yes.
And leave a review. That would mean a lot. If you have an iPhone, it's super easy because all you have to do is open up your podcast app. It's like baked into your phone's operating system. And you just scroll to the bottom. After you search Earth Oddity, scroll to the bottom of the page, click write a review, and that's all you have to do.
Yeah.
It's super simple.
Yeah, no, that's how I did it, of course, because I reviewed us. I think we're wonderful. But I
was going to say, I reviewed the podcast as well, but I want everyone out there to know it's not just because it's our podcast.
Yeah.
I truly, genuinely think it's the best podcast out there.
Yeah, well, it's the only podcast I listen to, so I assume it is the best one out there.
Right.
No other podcast has convinced me to listen to it. So, well, we need everyone's help in that because it'll help push our podcast to a broader audience with the more ratings it gets, the higher ratings and the better reviews it gets. So right
now, if you Google Earth Oddity, David Bowie comes up.
Yeah.
And
well,
I don't expect that to change, but I would like to at least be on the page somewhere.
Yeah. Right. I'm a David Bowie fan, and so I'm a little bit honored by that, but if we could just bop him down to number 2 on the Google return and have our podcast first, that would be fine. And no disrespect to David Bowie, the ghost of David Bowie, but who
was amazing.
I mean, guy made some brilliant music. Can you imagine?
I still watch Labyrinth.
Oh yeah,
that's a great movie.
Yeah, it's an awesome movie. But can you imagine when he was putting out Earth Odyssey or
Space Odyssey,
and all that, and it's coming out, and you've never heard anything like it before, and you get that record, and you put it on in your bedroom, and put your headphones on, and that had to blow your mind. It blew my mind, 20 years after it was made. When I listened to it the first time, I was like, wow, this is amazing.
So anyway, we might talk about that some more here in a little while. But
we're going to remind y'all. I mean, really, I'm going to harass all of y'all
yes.
until you do it.
If you want John or Tiny to shut up, just go write us a review.
Yeah, go write a
5-star review.
And look, I know my Aunt Julie, wonderful lady. I love my Aunt Julie. She's really awesome. She says she listens to this at the courthouse with all her friends. So what's up, people in Oklahoma? Listen to this at the courthouse, but we need each of you individually. Y'all may all listen to it off of Aunt Julie's phone to get your phone out and go and rate us as well. And only good ratings. You know, if you don't like it, just keep that to yourself. All right.
What's that our mom always told us? If you don't have anything nice to say, don't type it in an iTunes review.
Right. Yes. So, and then, just tell everybody that you know to go do this. Just really guilt trip them into it. I'm not above a guilt trip.
Yeah.
And, just be like, hey, I know these 2 young men who need a little help in life.
Yes.
They don't have anything else going for them, so we need you to rate this high.
It'll make you feel good if you do it.
Think of it as a mission effort.
And you can tell all your hipster friends that you support free speech through independent podcasting.
Exactly. All right, there we go. I like that. Yes.
I tell you what, Elon Musk last week, he made some headlines.
He did. He was huge in the news last week.
We talked about him a little bit last week. We were talking about the Teslas and their autopilot feature. And we briefly mentioned his boring company. And the Boring Company is a company that he has started to try to bring down the price of tunneling technology. Because he's tired of sitting in LA traffic.
Yeah.
And he wants to dig tunnels.
Makes sense.
He's also talked about the Hyperloop. And in order to raise money for his Boring Company, he sold, I think first he offered like 100,000 hats or something like that at $20 a piece that he was selling on the Boring Company website. And, people were kind of, they were ordering hats, and he made a joke, and it was just a joke, but it was a reference to the movie Spaceballs. Did you ever see that?
Oh, yeah. Love
Starring John Candy and Rick Moranis.
I love Spaceballs.
Yeah.
And I love all Mel Brooks movies, by the way. I love all of them. Every single one of them I love.
Well, he made a joke that he said when the hats sell out, if they're popular, then he'll offer the Boring Company branded flamethrower, which, of course, was a reference to, that movie.
Yes.
Well, it turns out it wasn't a joke at all. He did decide that he was gonna offer 20,000 Boring Company branded flamethrowers for sale. And I came this close to getting one.
Yeah.
And I couldn't talk the wife into it, and I don't blame her because $500. But
that is a little steep.
But just so you know, I had my name filled in. I had my address. I made it all the way down to where you put your credit card info in. And I was just about to click, and then I was like, wait a minute, I better
get approval
first.
on this. I got you. I almost bought a $1,000 guitar one time, and I was smart enough to run it by my wife. So,
but anyway, he has offered. He's offered these flamethrowers. He sold out, by the way. Just FYI, I want to say they went up for sale like maybe not this past Saturday, but Saturday before or something like that. And he sold out. I want to say Wednesday or Thursday.
Wow.
There was a rumor that started getting spread that he was going to secretly create a zombie apocalypse in order to create demand for these flamethrowers.
All right. Yeah. Well. That makes sense.
His response was, you need millions of zombies for a so-called apocalypse anyway. Where would I get a factory big enough to make so many? Well, first, Mr. Musk, you have many factories.
Yeah, they're called cemeteries, right?
And also, you don't make the zombies. You don't manufacture the zombies. You manufacture the virus.
Yeah.
Or you manufacture the space radiation or the voodoo magic. There's a whole list of ways to create a zombie.
I'm a voodoo magic type of guy. I don't know a whole lot about zombies, but I figure voodoo magic's the way to go with it. That's every time I go to New Orleans, that's what I expect is just for some kind of zombie thing to break out because all the voodoo madness they got going on down there.
Well, he sold every single one. He sold 20,000 flamethrowers at $500 a piece. He announced on Twitter that they will all be coming with a Boring Company branded fire extinguisher.
Okay.
So that's good.
Yeah, I would think there are some liability issues, maybe.
Yeah. And then he also tweeted out, and I don't have this pulled up right in front of me, but they were having some trouble with some customs in some of the countries where people ordered them.
I saw that, yeah. You can't ship a flamethrower.
Yeah, they said that we're not going to allow anything in the country that's labeled flamethrower. So he changed the name to not a flamethrower. So everyone out there who ordered him a flamethrower is getting a Boring Company branded, quote, not a flamethrower.
Right. Well, I mean, for those who missed out on getting their flamethrower, I would say you could use the age-old method of a lighter and some hairspray and flamethrow it up that way. That works. Gasoline, as you know, you may not want to use gasoline.
No.
That the fumes and gas are pretty high or light, so they will combust pretty easily. So
go up way faster than you think.
Yeah, right.
Also, if the zombie apocalypse ever does happen, which I don't think it will.
Me either.
If it ever does, the hardest thing for me is going to be pretending to not be excited about it. But
have you seen Shaun of the Dead?
I have.
I love that movie.
That.
That's about my extent of zombie knowledge.
Yeah.
I'm not into Walking Dead or anything. My wife watches it, and I've seen a few episodes just with her. But yeah, I don't know a whole lot about zombies. But
also, just as a brief PSA, a flamethrower is not a good weapon for the zombie apocalypse because you've already got the zombie coming after you. If you catch him on fire, now you have a flaming zombie coming after you.
True.
It's a big giant tiki torch trying to chase you down and eat you. So
I would feel like if it's dead, it's not going to hurt it that much.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
But you know, what do I know? I'm not a zombie expert. I would. I think a boat paddle would be a good thing. You just slap them away. You know, don't you have to knock their head off or something to kill them?
See, that makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
I figure,
I don't know what you do.
If the zombie is possible, like if the person is dead, why is the brain still working? You know, it would seem like it would just come after you no matter what. Like in Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, I have seen that. But yeah, I don't know how all that works. So I'm not sure. Flamethrower may not be the most efficient.
I think the flamethrower would be best suited for grilling steaks in a record time.
Yeah, right.
Maybe roasting some marshmallows.
Lighting a big line of firecrackers off or something with it. Bottle rockets or something.
Maybe if you're at the protest, setting a mattress on fire.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, like West Virginia wins the national championship, they burn a couch, or whatever.
Or Lane Kiffin leaves Tennessee, you know.
Yes. Yeah, you're going to ride. That was so bizarre when they did that. I mean, they're so, everybody was so upset. But I could kind of understand it. We got pretty mad when we had a few coaches leave Alabama before, but I don't think we marched on the streets and
set mattresses on fire.
Set stuff on fire.
Yeah,
it was more just like oh gee shucks. But anyways, I got a story here since we are a little pressed for time. We got a special deacons meeting episode of Earth Oddity. For those who don't know, I'm a deacon. That may come as a surprise. But here at Carroll's Creek Baptist Church, so I got to get to a deacons meeting a little bit. If you're looking for a church home, though, in your West Alabama area, come see us at Carroll's Creek Baptist Church. We're an excellent church, loving.
Anybody can be a deacon.
Yeah, if they'll let me be a deacon, then that should let you know.
Really, but.
That should let you know that they're very accepting of.
Very loving. The loving church.
We are the loving church. But this comes out of Roxana, Illinois, via fox2now.com.
Mm-hmm.
A teacher apologizes for drug references in math questions. So, some parents in the Roxana School District are complaining about a pair of math questions written by a teacher on a classroom whiteboard. On Thursday, the district superintendent confirmed these questions appeared during a freshman math class. Now, these are the questions. Mm-hmm. The first one was, you take 600 milligrams of cocaine, your body filters out 40% per hour. How high are you in 3 hours?
Huh. I would think it depends on your tolerance.
Yeah, yeah.
What do I know? I'm not.
Well, that's what I was thinking too. Height and weight, tolerance, previous use, and I don't know that you can answer how high are you in 3 hours.
That's just a bad question.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why I would complain. It's not so much. It's just a bad question.
Right. Now, the second question is, unfortunately, you can't pay your dealer, so she sets up a payment. You owe her $1,000 at 25% daily.
And one kneecap.
How much do you owe 1 year later? Now, there's a problem with this question too. Number one, I don't know a drug dealer that's going to let you float alone for 1 year. But number two, maybe someone else knows I'm not an economist or finance major or anything like that, but it says 25% daily. Well, that's $250 a day, 25% of $1,000. So you're going to end up owing back about $92,000 in a year.
Wow.
Yeah, that's really bad for some drugs. I mean, the profit margin isn't going to be enough to make up on that.
I think the lesson from this school test is don't do drugs.
Yeah, right. Yeah, very good. If it's just like an annual 25% annual percentage rate, though, you're only going to have to pay back about $1,250 total. So about $250 extra bucks, which is not that bad if you can float along for $1,000.
Right.
But, of course, that made some parents angry. According to the superintendent, a statement they released says the district is addressing the matter with a faculty member and those impacted by this incident. The faculty member has apologized to students and parents for this lapse in judgment and has reiterated the intent was never to promote or make light of illicit drug use. The district is taking the necessary measures to ensure that the damage is repaired. The district is addressing the issue as a personal matter according to district policy.
Well, I'll tell you what, $92,000, I'm not so sure he's making light.
No. Well, I mean, I just got to thinking, if you can make that kind of return, then maybe I need to get into drug dealing. I don't know. I was always on the bottom end of the chain. So, to me, if this was my kids, I wouldn't have gotten too bent out of shape out of this, other than saying those seems like some pretty difficult questions to answer based on the information given.
Right.
Because I'll just be like, I hope I've taught you that you shouldn't use drugs, and maybe a math question is not going to tip you over into drug use, down the dark alley of drug use. But, I don't know for sure. But I feel like the teacher could have done a better job. Maybe the teacher was on drugs when they wrote the question.
Maybe.
That's it. First thing I need to do is run him or her through a
random drug screen.
Yeah. Hey, guess whose name got pulled this month? Coincidence.
Well, our next article comes from the WashingtonPost.com. Owner receives letter granting dog unemployment benefits.
Great. All right.
This is from Saratoga, Michigan. Michael Ryder has been approved for $360 every week in Michigan unemployment benefits until the state learned that he'd been dogging it at a Detroit area restaurant chain where he supposedly worked. You see, Ryder is a German Shepherd owned by attorney Michael Haddock on the other side of the state in Saratoga. WZZM-TV reports that Haddock received a benefits letter addressed to Michael Ryder from Michigan's Unemployment Insurance Agency. The station says Haddock contacted the agency about the letter. The agency says its computer system sent the letter, but the claim later was flagged as suspicious and it was denied. So he got a letter, but he's not actually gonna get the money. Investigations Administrator Tim Kohler wrote in a tongue-in-cheek email that he knows firsthand it is rare for man's best friend to contribute financially to the household, and that will continue in this instance. So the pooch, Michael Ryder, is which isn't he part of the Paw Patrol? No, wait, that's the kid. That's the kid that's the head of them.
Michael Ryder's the Knight Rider, right? Is that who was the Knight Rider? I mean, maybe. David Hassel.
Maybe.
Excuse me, David Hasselhoff. Yeah, but wasn't that Michael Ryder? I'm fixing to look that up. But yeah,
dogs. I mean, I guess it's rare. It is rare for them to contribute financially. That space is owned by Grumpy Cat.
That's right. Yeah, they're going to have to straight up. Well, Michael Ryder's also an actor.
Okay.
He was in a bunch of movies you've never heard of. Platoon Leader being one.
Platoon Leader.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
Me either.
But if you have seen Platoon Leader.
He was Michael Knight in Knight Rider.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Michael Knight. Maybe the guy's a Hasselhoff fan or something. He wanted to combine the two. He could be like me, and I don't know. My dog's name's Jay Barker. So I told my cousin who lives in Oklahoma, he's married to a wonderful girl, Mari. She's used to be a cheerleader at Oklahoma. I told him if the next dog they got, if they didn't name it Barker Mayfield instead of Baker Mayfield, I would be a little upset about that. Because that's an awesome dog name. And speaking of college football, this is a feel-good story for everybody out there. Washington State player gets Community Service Award.
That's good.
Yeah. Washington State defensive lineman Logan Tago recently was named the recipient of the Fall 2017 Community Involvement Award. And this is given out to by the university's Center for Civic Engagement. From a Washington State's press release, Tago seems like a perfectly worthy winner.
He's a shining beacon of responsibility. Someone we should try to be like.
The dude completed 240 hours of community service around the city of Pullman and the Palouse communities.
Give him a round of applause.
Yeah, right. Now, the press release conveniently didn't mention that Tago was literally ordered by a court to do that community service as part of a plea bargain he accepted to avoid a felony robbery conviction.
Whoops.
So I feel like maybe the Center for Civic Engagement wasn't aware of that. I don't know. But back in 2016, Tago, when he was 19, was arrested and charged with second-degree felony robbery and fourth-degree assault after he punched a man in the head and stole a six-pack of beer from him.
Well,
I mean, that's you really want to get a drink on for that. I mean, just find a bum and give him an extra $10 to go buy you some. I thought everybody knew that. Per the Seattle Times, the victim told police that Tago's punch left him concussed, and Tago accepted a plea bargain, and his charge was lowered to third-degree assault, which isn't a felony. And he was ordered to spend 30 days in jail and do 240 hours of community service. And perhaps, as the article states, Tago really wanted to do the community service and would have, even without the court's order. But it's more than a little fishy. He was given an award for completing 240 hours, the exact same amount of time the court mandated, not 1 hour more, not 1 hour less.
Man.
So maybe they were just proud that he's finished up, and he's got it done. Washington State, as many people here in Alabama may remember, is where we had a temporary head coach, Mike, what was his last name?
Dubose.
No, it was after Dubose. Mike Price came here from Washington State.
Yes, that didn't last long.
Got into some trouble with
Didn't coach a single game.
Got into trouble with some untoward ladies.
He liked to party.
Yeah, well, he liked to party a lot.
Yeah.
There were stories floating around town before the incident that cost him his job. So
just stories.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Who knows? But
you
maybe
can't have story floating around about you if you're the coach of the University of Alabama football
Like in
team.
Washington, in Pullman, Washington, you can go out and get real drunk and hook up with some ladies of the night or whatever, and it's no big deal. But around here, everyone is watching you all the time, which he found out. And didn't receive a penny of his contract because they hadn't even finished all the negotiation. So maybe they just do things differently up there, But good for this young man and his Center for Civic Engagement Community Involvement Award that he was forced to do.
Maybe they should give me a civic honor award for driving the speed limit every day.
Right.
I haven't gotten a ticket in a long time.
Well, I've had a few tickets in my life, not many, and not one in a long time. But I paid it. I did what I was supposed to do. I should definitely get an award. Yeah, right. Yeah. Now, what about the dude who robbed the 7-Eleven and served his time in jail and gets out? Let's give that dude an award.
Absolutely.
I mean, he was actually on the inside dealing with jail time and everything. So let's just start handing out awards. Let me get on my old man America rant. Oh, this is what's wrong. Everybody needs an award for participation trophy. Everybody goes crazy anytime. Oh, nobody knows anything. Everybody expects an award for everything. So that's a perfect opportunity for everyone to say that. If you get your crazy uncle who's
absolutely.
Tell him that. Get him on a rant the next time y'all are together.
Well, our next story comes from the BBC, and it is St. Francis Xavier's forearm is set for a cross-country tour and will get its own seat on Canada Air.
Just his forearm?
Yeah, this is, the Catholic Church has come together and decided that Canada needs a hand, and they're sending St. Francis Xavier's.
Need a hand.
St. Francis Xavier's forearm set for cross-country tour. Angel Renier says traveling with the country with the 465-year-old severed right forearm of St. Francis Xavier will be like doing a road trip with a friend.
Okay.
I can't wait to see the buddy comedy movie that this is based on. I mean, I know it's just bones, but connected to that is a living friendship with St. Francis Xavier. Renier, the co-founder of Ottawa's Catholic Christian Outreach, told As It Happens guest host Helen Mann, I'm sure there'll be a lot of interesting conversations as we go around.
I'm sure.
Conversations with the hand?
I don't know. If I was her, I would say stuff like, hey, can you give me a hand? All the time.
You think maybe he takes it and like holds it up and does like the sock puppet? How does a saint travel? Renier will accompany the sacred Catholic relic from Rome to Ottawa before embarking on a 14-city tour of Canada from January 3rd to February 2nd. So, which, I mean, Canada's a long ways away, but we missed it.
Yeah.
We're very nervous, first of all, of exposing it to the cold of Canada. I enlisted some women to make me a coat for him, you know. So...
Got a little sweater.
Shouldn't it be sleeve?
Yeah.
Not a coat.
Yeah, he doesn't need a whole coat. Yeah. Well, a glove really would probably do. Yeah, just a glove.
Or as they would say, a hat.
Yeah.
Fortunately, she said the church has provided her with a duffel bag lined with foam specifically made for transporting the relic.
Okay.
In the end, I don't think we'll need to make him a parka, she said with a laugh. The saint will, however, get its own seat on the flight.
Well, I mean, that could just ride in your lap. Really.
I would
like
be
overhead compartment.
I would lean over and be like, "Hey, are you going to eat your peanuts?
Yeah, right.
Can I have your peanuts?"
Oh, he's having a bourbon and Coke.
You can't just toss the arm that baptized over 100,000 people onto the cargo bay and hope for the best. You can't put it underneath, and we can't put it in the overhead bins. Why not?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Well, here's why not, John. He likes to have a seat of his own,
okay.
She said. You're trying to explain this to Air Canada. I think that would be like one of the most understanding airlines.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Sorry. We'll get him a seat right here.
What's this all about?
We need to book a seat. He is a person in a way, but it's not a person. It's an arm.
Yeah.
Oh, well said. It's not a person.
Right.
It's an arm.
It's just his arm.
Renier also had to get official paperwork from Italy and clear her plans with the airline ahead of time. Renier is having Canada host the relic is an honor for a number of reasons. First of all, the saint's remains are considered incorrupt, which that's like a thing in Catholicism where if you die and you're not embalmed, but for some reason your body is like mummified, they're considered incorruptible.
Yes.
It means the body of this person has not decomposed in a natural process. It remains there, Renier said. It's really quite astonishing. What's more, the church only occasionally permits the relic to be removed from its usual display at the Church of Gesù in Rome. It's in a really beautiful side altar. There are statues and marbles. It's absolutely stunning, Renier said. They'll never let us take that. Renier credits Terence Prendergast, the Archbishop of the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Ottawa, for making it happen. The tour is organized by the Archdiocese of Ottawa and Catholic Christian Outreach, a national university student movement. St. Francis Xavier is one of our patron saints, and we really like him a lot. He came to faith, or Renier said, he came to faith at the university. St. Francis Xavier was born in 1506 into Spanish nobility. In 1525, he attended the University of Paris, where he is largely remembered for being popular and sporty.
He was an athlete.
Yes, he was the cool guy. He was the athletic guy, she said. Probably party. Can you say that for me, John?
Partying.
Thank you. More than doing his schoolwork.
So he is going to get the bourbon and Coke.
Yeah. I like to think there's like some sunglasses on him, you know.
The weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah. His roommate, St. Ignatius of Loyola, took Francis under his wing to bring him alive in his faith. So for us at the University Student Movement, we want university students to come alive in their faith, so we find a lot in common with St. Francis Xavier's history. Today, St. Francis is remembered for having baptized tens of thousands of people in his travels throughout Asia. He died on an island outside the Chinese mainland in 1552 at the age of 46. So,
wow.
Not a long time.
Yeah, the longevity wasn't, back
That's
then.
true. They didn't
46 year.
They didn't have vaccines or medicine or anything like that.
Well, yeah. No, we're reverting. That's a whole nother conversation.
His body was laid to rest in a tomb in Goa, West India, but his right arm was taken to Rome in the early 17th century. I wonder why they just took his arm.
Yeah, I don't know, just snap his arm off or something.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
Everyone's kind of claiming fame from the connection to St. Francis because he was a very famous, Rainier said. So somehow the agreement was made for the arm to go to the Mother Church in Rome. It's his right arm. So it's the arm that he would have used to baptize and heal and do amazing things with.
Well, what if he's left-handed?
I
guess we're assuming he's right-handed.
We're assuming
I don't want to blow a
right-handed.
hole in the Catholic.
Yeah, if he was left-handed, he wouldn't be a saint. John. He would have probably stuck to partying.
That's right. I mean, but like if you're a left-handed pitcher, in baseball, I mean, it said it was athletic.
That's true.
Of course, they weren't playing baseball back in the 1500s.
I wonder what they were playing.
I would imagine,
like,
I don't know,
kill the pig.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Or drink a barrel of ale.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of medieval games it had. I've seen like the Highland games where like throw the pole and all that. But.
Yeah. Once Rainier lands in Ottawa with the forearm, she'll set off on her cross-country tour, again by air, which is expected to draw thousands of visitors. It's quite a production, she said. We want to touch most of Canada with it, which I like to picture her actually holding the arm out and touching people.
You just slapping them across the face.
Yeah, and then of course it lists the itinerary. Unfortunately, we just didn't get to the story soon enough because it is over.
I know a lot of people would have went to see a dead arm. A 400-year-old dead arm.
I'll be honest. If the arm was coming to Northport,
I'd probably pop in.
I'd probably
I would
see
too.
it. Not because I think it has magical powers, but just to see a mummified dead dude's arm.
Yeah, but
especially the cool guy.
Personally, I had never heard of St. Francis before this. Us Baptists aren't up on our saints as much as we should be.
Yeah.
But he apparently was a monster. I'm not a monster in a good way. He was converting people left and right all over Asia and everything. I read a little bit about him.
A monster Christian, the worst kind.
Right. Yeah, those scary monster Christians looking to bring you into eternal life in heaven. Oh, those dastardly proselytizing Christians. But
I bet he was intolerant too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But so we're not all up on our saints. But I mean, to me, if you don't make a talk to the hand joke at least once a day with that thing, then you're not doing your duty as a human. Because
every time somebody asked me, "Hey, give me a hand with this," I would hand it over.
That's right. Yes. Like somebody's just getting on your nerves, you like whip that out of your purse, or she whips it out of her purse. Like, just talk to the hand.
Or use it as a fly swatter.
Oh yeah. You're flipping pancakes with it,
That would be
It's got
awesome.
that nice like case. You'll see it in the show notes, if you want to go click on the link. But yeah, it's got a case for it, so you can do a lot of things with it.
Yeah.
Put your stuff in there with it. I don't know, but I imagine it's got to have a little smell to it.
Maybe it smells like jerky.
What if it does? You're like
Teriyaki.
hungry all day. You're like, man, I got a craving for some beef jerky. Or you like freak people out, like pull some, act like you're getting it out of the case, but it's really beef jerky and you're eating it. The guy beside you on the plane's thinking you're really weird.
That would be awesome.
You're like, yeah, that's Uncle Joe. He's pretty good. He wanted us to, remember him forever. I don't know. I would have a lot more. That's probably why they would never let me take around a venerated saint's
But
hand.
I think St. Francis Xavier, like if he was around, I think he would laugh. I think he would think it was great.
They described him as like a really cool dude. So
yeah,
I think
would
he would
love
be like,
it
yes.
if my arm, 500 years in the future was making its way around. I would love for, guys to be, swatting guys on the butt with it or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be hilarious.
Yeah, give him a good job, Pat. Which is, that's a really strange custom that, we've gotten into. And it's really unacceptable outside of sports. You know, like if I'm at work and somebody does something good and I slap them on the butt, then that's a lawsuit. But if you're playing football and somebody does something good, you slap them on the butt, it's perfectly acceptable. I mean, like, you know, the machoist of macho sport has guys patting each other on the backside all the time. And like We Will Rock You, written by Queen with a flamboyantly gay lead singer, is like the number one anthem of football. I just find it like a weird dichotomy, you know? But anyways, I don't know. I would go see St. Francis's hand. That's all I'm saying. If it came around here,
I'd give him a high five.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All day long. Now, let's bump knucks, buddy. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Our next story comes from Time via the Associated Press. It's out of Bradenton, Florida. You know, it's always going to be good when it's in Florida.
Right.
Talk about one heck of an explosive donation. Authorities say a grenade launcher loaded with a live grenade was left with other donated items at a Florida Goodwill store.
How generous.
Yes. The Bradenton Herald reports employees at the Goodwill store near Tampa reported the weapon on Sunday. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office says the store manager told deputies that the grenade launcher had come in a shipment from another store several days earlier. The employees at the other location said they sent it along because they didn't know what it was. Deputies said they disposed of the active grenade in a hazmat locker, and the launcher was stored in the agent's properties room. And it's not clear who donated the items.
There's a better way to dispose of that grenade. You just go out in the back alley and fire one off.
Well, this is, and I can tell you, this is some guy whose wife was like cleaning out the garage or whatever, and was going to get it all done while he was like at work one day. And she loaded that up. She didn't know what it was. Thought it was like a toy or whatever, and took it down to the thrift store, to the Goodwill store.
I wonder if it said Boring Company on the side.
It may have. One in 20 years, there's going to be a flamethrower show up at a Goodwill store. But yeah, this is some dude, and he's like coming home later on. You know, he doesn't even know it's gone yet because he hadn't touched it in a long time.
I bet he's planning a fishing trip that weekend.
Yeah, right. Me and the boys are going out. It's Saturday. You know, we're going to go have
some fish.
Yeah, knock out a couple of brewskis, grenades, and fish and everything. Have fish fry at night, and he goes to looking for it, and he's like, "Hey, honey, what happened? I had it laying right over here. You know, with all this other junk." She's like, "Oh, I don't know. I think maybe I donated that to Goodwill." Or he read this story in the paper and he went out and looked for it in the garage and was like, "Okay, now you've done it."
Man,
I'm not even supposed to have this thing. Like, can you legally own a grenade launcher?
I believe you can.
Yeah.
But here's the catch is it can't be like military ammo. It's got like the dimensions of the actual grenade has to be like these special dimensions. If I'm not mistaken, now this is all coming from some movie show I watched.
Yeah,
where they use.
I have no clue.
That's what they use for like movie props. But it's again, there's like a mountain of paperwork.
I can imagine.
And I'm sure there's applications and stuff. So
wow, but yeah, if you had one, I'm surely you're not donating that just to donate it. That's got to be somebody.
Right.
Like maybe they passed away and his family went in, just like loading stuff up.
Tell you what, I would love to have one. I wonder how much Goodwill is going to sell theirs for.
That's what I wanted to call and ask. Like, hey, I'll take it off your hands, just for the fun of it. I don't have anybody I want a grenade or anything I want to launch a grenade at, but I could just go out in the woods and see, let's blow something up.
Make a great bonfire.
Heck yeah! But scaring some people that don't know what it is, just start shooting.
Or like homecoming game rolls around and you pile up all the wood for the fire and you tell everybody to stand back and you're like, this is how we're going to light it.
Yes, right, exactly.
That would be awesome.
Well, there's one in Bradenton, Florida now. If anybody's down that way, you pick it up, bring it back. We'll let you have a guest spot on the Earth Oddity when you bring it in.
Absolutely. Next story here. California case to prove existence of Bigfoot moves forward.
Okay. All right. I'm for this because I believe in Bigfoot. I do. I don't believe in a lot of things, but I believe in Bigfoot.
Believe in Bigfoot.
Yeah. I'll get into it more later on.
All right. Here we go. A California woman has filed a petition in California court on behalf of Todd Standing to have Bigfoot officially recognized as a species. The lawsuit filed by Bigfoot researcher Claudia Ackley alleges that Bigfoot is a real species and deserves protection. That denial of the creature's existence has impacted the research and livelihood of those who study it.
There we go.
And that a failure to acknowledge the species has created a serious public safety risk. Standing released a video of his YouTube channel on Tuesday to announce the case's introduction. My colleagues and I have brought lawsuits, litigation, court cases to Canada and to the United States, specifically to British Columbia, the province of Canada, and to the state of California, Standing said. Standing proclaimed to have captured significant evidence during a visit to California, which, in addition to the contents of Discovering Bigfoot, the show, will be used in the lawsuit, although he first plans to release the evidence as a sequel to the 2017 documentary. While I was there in California, I went on an expedition and actually was able to get some footage of the Sasquatch.
Excellent.
Some evidence of a Sasquatch, he said. There is a significant amount of footage from tracks to an altercation with the Sasquatch.
All right.
Actually grabbing an apple, and the whole thing was captured on video. There's a great deal of footage, Standing continued. I'm going to save most of it for Discovering Bigfoot Part 2.
There you go. Electric Boogaloo.
Standing entreated help from those watching the video, specifically in the areas of fundraising and legal help, citing difficulties in obtaining legal counsel. So I guess he's having some trouble there.
Because everybody thinks you're crazy.
Right.
I know. I'm with you. I'm with you, man.
In claiming that he and his colleagues have spent $20,000 of their own money to fund their research. That's no small chunk of change.
Would you do that for something fake?
No.
Exactly, because it's real.
But
Bigfoot's real. I'm telling you.
I can't think of much.
I'm going to make my case.
$20,000. I'd spend it on maybe a grenade launcher,
flamethrower.
Yeah.
I get 10 or 12 flamethrowers.
Most lawyers see it as damaging to their practice. Right. He said,
"You don't want to be known as the Bigfoot lawyer."
Bigfoot lawyer. That's hilarious. Despite the difficulties, Standing appeared optimistic. It's a very exciting time for me, said Standing. The petition's hearing is scheduled for March 19th, 2018 in San Bernardino County Superior Court.
Heck yeah.
A full transcript of the court documents was transcribed to the social media network Reddit and can be found here. If you go in the show notes and click on the article, you can find a transcript of it. So, let me say first of all that I try to keep an open mind.
Okay.
And I readily admit that Bigfoot could be out there.
Okay.
But I am, I would say skeptical on the existence of him. But I would love to be proven wrong,
Well, I'll say this. Number one, I don't believe in Loch Ness Monster. That's a load of crap.
Now, see, that's my favorite,
no,
man. I
hate
don't believe in
hate
it either, but if one cryptid could be true,
no,
for me, it would be Nessie.
I don't believe in Chupacabra. I don't believe, but I believe in Bigfoot.
Right.
Here's my case for why I believe in Bigfoot.
Lay it on me.
All right. Number one, I grew up in Alabama in and around the woods my whole life. Right. We have a significant bobcat population in Alabama.
Right.
Right. I've only seen, I would say, around 10 or 15 in my life, in the wild. And usually that's when I've walked up and startled one or, sitting in up against a tree hunting or whatever, out on a hike, something like that. All right. So we think we're quiet when we're in the woods, even if you're walking as quiet as possible, but we're not. Our survival doesn't depend on us being quiet.
Right.
All right. So I think that there could be, I don't think it's like one Bigfoot. I think there are like multiple big feet. Is that the plural?
I think it's Bigfoots.
Bigfoots around, but like maybe there's only like two in an area and they only mate, like once or twice, or whatever. And they have a pretty wide area they can control.
Yeah.
Now, and so I feel like a primate that has learned to walk upright would be a little advanced and be able to know, probably smell, hearing, and eyesight. Like, hey, somebody's out here. I need to get hidden where they can't see me.
Right.
I just feel like that's possible. Also, don't think there is like people just rolling around all over the world, really, putting big footprints in the mud for people to find later on as some kind of joke. I just don't. I think that's too much hassle to carry out an elaborate hoax.
Right.
Here's my two drawbacks. Here's the only things that give me pause. Number one, nobody's ever shot one. Like, there's never been a hunter that shot one ever. Because if I were to be out hunting, which I'm not a big hunter, never have been, but I have hunted. And if I was out sitting in my deer stand or whatever and Bigfoot walked out, I would drop him in a second. I would shoot him so fast, you know.
I've told my friends, if I'm ever out in the woods and I see Bigfoot, one of two things are going to happen. One, the mystery is over. Yeah. He's found because he's coming back with me.
Exactly.
Or two, I didn't really see him. Those are the two options.
And my other thing is he's never been hit by a car.
Right.
You know, hit by a car. You know, as you'll see a bobcat dead on the side of the road. You see all kind of stuff dead on the side of the road. But for years, people have been saying there are mountain lions back in Alabama, or we call them panthers, you know. And people have denied their existence, and now people are like producing game camera footage of it. So I'm hoping.
Yeah, why don't Bigfoot show up on game?
I don't know.
Cameras?
I don't know, but and maybe he will sooner or later, or you know, because for years people are like, no, you guys are crazy. There aren't mountain lions, you know, roaming around the hills of Birmingham, and people are like, yeah, no, here's one I caught on my camera, my trail camera. So maybe Bigfoot will be, you know, on a game camera before too long.
Well,
I just believe in Bigfoot. All right, let me believe in Bigfoot. No, everybody get off my back.
Absolutely. I mean,
you know what he doesn't do? Eat pineapples on his pizza.
I bet not. Again, I am skeptical, but I would love to be proven wrong. I would love for there to be a Bigfoot. I don't think she's out there. I would love for there to be a Nessie. I would love for there to be a Champ. I would love for there to be a Chupacabra. And I would doubly love for Chupacabra to be like an escaped extraterrestrial pet, you know?
It got loose from Area 51.
Yes.
It is kind of like a Southwestern thing.
I would love to believe all that stuff, but, you know, I try to keep an open mind. I'm skeptical, but I would love for their evidence to be out there.
Bigfoot's the only one I really all in on. You know, maybe I've watched too much Discovery Channel, you know, like Bigfoot shows, which those are kind of dumb. But I wouldn't go out there just hollering and beating up on trees.
Hey, let me put a quick call to the listening audience. If you have spotted Bigfoot, please, we beg you, write in Earth Oddity at planetmail.net. We would love to learn more about it. We would love to learn more about you, and maybe even have you on the show. That would be awesome.
We'll bring you on immediately.
We will.
You know? Yeah, if you got confirmed Bigfoot sighting, you know, holler at me, boy. I mean, let's get you on for sure.
And that goes for the skunk ape as well.
Yeah, skunk ape. That's popular around here. Yeah, Sasquatch, Yeti. You know, I feel like they're all the same family.
Right.
You know,
the Yeren, the Yowie.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah. You know, and there's been Bigfoot legends, you know, for forever throughout history. So that's another reason I believe as well. You know, I mean, we've not perpetuated a generations long hoax on everyone.
Right.
Anyways, this is a follow up to last week's story about Nutella. France is to investigate the Nutella promotion. This is from the BBC.com. France's finance ministry is investigating whether a Nutella promotion that led to violent scenes in supermarkets broke trading laws. So apparently France has strict rules about the size of the discounts that retailers can put on products outside of official sales periods.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's like the price gouging laws, you know, like you can't, you know, if there's an emergency here.
I mean, you can't gouge them, but you can't discount them either.
Yeah, you just can't discount more than anything.
Man, they won't let you do anything over there.
Right. So last week, the grocery store Intermarché discounted Nutella by 70%, and people went out of their minds. They were attacking old ladies and beating each other up, and the police had to be called. And so France's Consumer Protection and Anti-Fraud Agency said on Monday its investigation would judge whether the promotion legally counted as a sale or whether it was an incident of product dumping. And maybe this is like one of the protections is why they have it, so you're just not releasing so much of something into the market at one time, so you can dictate, you know, prices. It's probably a little more relevant with commodities and not Nutella. But Minister of Agriculture, Stéphane Travert, this is my 2 years of French coming up, who is currently pushing for a law that would limit discounts to 34% of the cost price, is reported to be furious about the affair. Now, Nutella's makers, Fiero, said they regretted last Thursday's violence, but noted that the discount had been unilaterally decided by Intermarché. So that's just Nutella going, hey, guys, don't sue us for your grandma getting a broken hip trying to get a jar of Nutella. But apparently they may have broken some laws. You just can't, bottom out the market on something in France, which seems a little over regulatory to me.
I feel like if you want to sell Nutella for a nickel,
yeah,
if it's yours, if you're the one taking the loss, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I guess I don't know. Like I say, I could see where if you had if you wanted to control the market on something and you had a major supply, you could drop prices so everyone comes to you.
Right.
And your competitors would go out of business.
Hey, that's capitalism.
That's capitalism. That's France. So
right.
But so I don't know. We may have some laws like that on the books. I just don't think it would apply to Nutella. It may to like oil or gold or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, anyway, next headline here. A woman was listed as a missing person, but she was just on The Bachelor. You can tune in every week.
Well, talk about getting your heart broke.
Bachelor contestant Rebecca Martinez going on The Bachelor requires disappearing from your regular life. Contestants leave behind their jobs, pets, family, friends, and social media accounts for days or weeks or months to compete for true love, which...
True love.
You're not really competing for true love. You're competing for...
You don't find true
love to win the show.
Yeah, in 6 weeks on TV.
At least I didn't.
Yeah, especially when the guy that you're wanting to be in love with is making out with like 5 other girls and you. So
anyway, but one contestant was reported as missing to the Humboldt County Sheriff's Office when in fact she was competing on the reality show on Thursday. A story in the North Coast Journal on 35 people currently missing in Humboldt County, California, included Rebecca Martinez. The newspaper asked readers if they recognized anyone in their collection of missing people. And people were like, yeah, I know that girl. She's on The Bachelor. She's doing quite well on the show, too, by the way. Bachelor contestants head to Paris. The remaining contestants on The Bachelor, including Rebecca Martinez, headed to Paris for the next series of dates. According to the North Coast Journal, Martinez's mother reported her missing on November 18th after not hearing from her since November 12th, a time frame that aligns with The Bachelor's typical taping schedule. The newspaper noted that after a reader pointed out that Martinez was on the show, a public information officer in Humboldt County, where Martinez at some point worked on a marijuana farm, the Journal reported. So maybe she just forgot.
Yeah, right.
Spoke to Martinez and said that she's been removed from the missing and unidentified persons list.
That's good.
On Friday, she addressed the mix-up on Twitter, that's where you address these kind of things nowadays, in the most daughter voice possible. Mom, all caps. How many times do I have to tell you I don't get cell service on The Bachelor? Which... chill out, dude. It's your mom.
Well, yeah, right.
Don't sass
cut your mama some slack. Yeah. She's just worried.
Get that belt out. Bachelor contestants, no doubt, have a lot to do before uprooting their lives for what could be weeks to months. There's a packing list that includes athleisure. I'm assuming that's athletic wear.
Yeah, I would guess so.
Yeah, ball gowns, clothes for all types of weather, snow, rain, sun, and wind. If you're Martinez, that list might include bringing enough weed for several weeks of a high-stress environment, all to fit in 2 suitcases. There's also likely a long to-do list, which might include paying your bills, putting a hold on your mail, suspending all beauty subscription boxes, shipping a pet off to its grandparents, deputizing a responsible friend to water your plants, and telling your mother that you'll be incommunicado for a while. So...
yeah, man, she just got high and forgot to say anything.
Come on, Becca. Tell your mom where you're going to be. Come on now.
Yeah. Man, that's, I don't know. I had a friend who was a cameraman on The Bachelor for a few seasons.
Really?
Yeah, he says a pretty secretive little deal with him. But I just don't think... surely you let your mama know, like, hey,
if you don't, you should.
Yeah, I'm traveling out of the country, and I'm probably not going to be available for a few weeks, but I'll touch base, when I can. Don't worry too much about me. I'm going on this show. I may be bringing home a guy to meet you, you know, at some point in time.
Because that's on the show.
Yeah, that's part of the show.
When
yeah.
you get towards the
when you
end.
get towards the end, they go meet the family. Which,
you know what? I hope she stays on the show just so we can see the awkwardness when she, when she has to face her mom.
yeah, you get back and they don't even worry about the guy like fighting in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Like, Mom, I told you I would call.
That'd be great TV.
It would be. Maybe she's what I dream of because on all these shows, because my wife watches them. I really don't watch a lot of TV, but I'm in the room when my wife watches these shows, so I end up getting caught in some of them.
Yeah.
And my dream is like I want to see the girl bring home the guy, and they're always going home to like a pretty well-to-do family, you know. But I want to see somebody come home to like a beat-up trailer, and like Mama's sitting on the porch
Why
smoking.
has that not happened?
Yeah, smoking like a Marlboro, and drinking a can of beer, and Daddy's out back skinning a deer and all that, and get this guy who's like some investment banker from New York to come into that environment, you know. Daddy takes him out hunting and mud riding and all that. But it's never like that. It's like, oh, let's go have brunch and drink mimosas and, all that good stuff. It would be more entertaining TV, at least to me.
That would be so much better.
Yeah, it would be better. So, I don't know. But yeah, you gotta. I mean, I'm sure she was just high. You smoke a little weed, and you tell yourself, okay, I'm gonna remember to tell Mom that. And then the next day, you're getting high again. You're like, oh, I forgot to tell Mom. I'll call her. Once I sober up a little bit, I want to talk to her all stoned because you know how Mom is. And then it's time to get on the plane, and you hadn't called Mom, and she's filing a missing persons report. So I feel like that's on you, Bachelor lady. You shouldn't be getting all huffy with your mama over Twitter.
No.
Yeah, which, first of all, call your mom. Don't just tweet at her.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But anyways, I feel like, it's a problem if you forget to tell your mom you're going out of the country. Maybe you don't have the closest relationship anyway, as it is.
Well, anyway, I'm glad that she's not really missing for real.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Anyway, is there anything else you want to get to before we wrap this up? We're bumping up on time.
No, the only other thing I have was this two cops in Canada who ate some edible marijuana and called in. I'll just run over it real quick.
Okay.
All right, two Toronto. This is from the CBC, which is, I guess, the Canadian Broadcasting Company or something. It says 2 Toronto police officers who allegedly ingested marijuana edibles, hallucinated, and called for help while on duty Sunday. They have been suspended.
I bet they were so paranoid.
Oh, yes. Which, for those not familiar, marijuana can be eaten, cooked into different foods or whatever, and it's pretty potent when it's that way. It takes a little longer to hit you, and so you'll sit around and be like, I don't know, feel anything, so you'll eat a little bit more, and you're like, I still don't feel anything, and then, like 20 minutes later.
Next thing you know, you're covered in spiders.
Next thing you know, you're in your patrol car calling the cops because you're hallucinating. They made a call for an officer needing assistance, and they were found in their police vehicle and later treated in a hospital. During the call, another officer responding to the scene slipped on ice and required medical attention. He suffered a head injury.
Whoops.
So clearly he was drinking before he showed up.
Well, here's my question. Are they going to be charged?
Well, it says they don't know yet. The funny thing is let me find here, they had raided a house, and they think that this was some of the evidence that came from it.
They ate the evidence.
That's what it is. Sources tell CBC News the marijuana edibles the officers ingested are believed to have come from a dispensary that they raided. The community cannabis clinic.
The community cannabis clinic.
Yeah, so apparently it's legal for medicinal purposes in Canada. I know in some places in Canada it's just legal.
Right.
They may kind of be like the United States. People on their own,
right. What
provinces decide on their own. So this dispensary got raided. I don't know, if they were just not on the up and up, but it's unclear if the officers participated in the raid over the weekend. The only officer that's been identified, his name is Victor Dominelli. He's a neighborhood resource officer And I feel like he's just trying to connect with the kids, you know? Like, yeah, so just be cool.
Well,
he looks like a cool dude.
I think he needs a visit from McGruff.
He definitely does.
McGruff needs to take a bite out of crime on this dude.
He's definitely not their dare officer.
No.
You know? That was the only other thing I had.
Okay. Man, I need to get some kind of stinger because, like we said earlier, we are now on iTunes, and we are starting to get some reviews to trickle in. So we're actually gonna cover some of these. We're gonna kind of blow through them quick. Funky McFunkster says, "Funny news stories are my favorite. These guys do a good job of picking out the best ones and giving their spin on the crazy stories. It's odd enough for me to love."
All right.
Thank you, Funky McFunkster.
I like that dude. Like that dude.
Yeah.
I like him.
Redbeard the Viking says, "Weird news, hilarious commentary. This show is fantastic. These guys do a great job. It will be a bright spot in your week, and it's family friendly too."
I like Redbeard.
Thank you, Redbeard. Okay. Wild Style has this to say, "These guys are pretty entertaining. They have great chemistry and keep the laughs coming, and you should definitely listen." So thank you, Wild Styles.
Yes, Wild Styles.
Okay, next one, BGD, in parentheses, Big Buck Down. They gave us a 1-star review.
Boo.
And they just simply say, "Not a fan." Title of the review is, "I like pineapple on pizza." So
that's somebody that took that a little more seriously than we intended.
You see what these pineapple people are like?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like them.
I mean, we don't like you. Yeah, I'll give you a 1-star review. I give your review a 1 star.
Yeah, it's not even a full sentence.
Yeah,
and that's not how you abbreviate Big Buck Down, by the way.
That's right.
So,
hey, if you're that guy, email the show earthoddity@planetmail.net. I just want to talk to you, man.
Yeah,
I feel like we could get along. Let's put this issue behind us.
J Rock from the top says, "Funny show. I like news stories and I love to laugh, and this show gives me the chance to do both."
All right.
Jeff Cross 624
says,
"I
wonder who that is."
I don't know. I think his name's Jeff. I'm not sure. "Good, clean fun, funny stuff, very entertaining. 5 stars." Down here we got, and then this one is from Hog Monster. Name of the review is "Pineapple Don't Belong on Pizza."
There we go.
"This show is great. I too hate pineapple on pizza. Ain't nobody got time for that. Tiny is the smart one with a dumb voice. John is the short round to Tiny's Indiana Jones." 5 stars.
I like that one.
So whoever that is, I agree. I think my voice is kind of dumb too. Thank you for giving us a 5-star review.
We do appreciate that.
In spite of that. And here's one. This one, name of the title is "I Was Wrong Before." 5 stars. This is by BGD, in parentheses, Big Buck Down question mark. I wonder who this is. It says, "Man, was I wrong. At first, I thought I would rate this podcast a 1 star because I'm a jerk like that. But then I realized I was wrong about the podcast, wrong about pineapple on pizza, and wrong about the abbreviation of Big Buck Down. I said BGD. What was I thinking? I guess maybe BG could be big, but then that just means big down, and that's not what I was going for. Anyway, please don't pay attention to my first review. John and Tiny showed me that I was wrong about so many things, and I'm actually kind of embarrassed now. I know they will find it in their heart to forgive me. At least I know Tiny will. Please don't be like me. Listen to Earth Oddity because it's a really great show made by 2 dads who both work a full-time job and still manage to pump out a highly entertaining show free of charge to anyone who wants to listen. The show is awesome. They are awesome. What are you waiting for?"
There we go.
You could be listening to the show right now instead of reading this review posted by a sore loser who used to like pineapple on their pizza. Go now and don't forget to follow them on Twitter and Instagram. So, BGD, we thank you for your change of heart.
Came to your senses, man.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yes.
And I got to say, after starting a podcast, I have learned that people are, at least when it comes to pinning them down or writing them down and putting them on the internet, are very stingy about their opinions.
Yes.
It's tough to get reviews.
It is.
So you know what we're going to do? We are going to up the stakes. Next week, we are going to have a contest.
That's right.
You go into iTunes, and if you have an iPhone, it's super easy. All you do is search the show, scroll down, and click write a review. It's literally that easy.
Yeah.
But this next week, you go and leave a 5-star review for the show. Only 5 stars are eligible because we're not going to give you prizes to destroy us on the internet.
1-star stuff.
Yeah. And you post a 5-star review, and then next week we pick a winner, and that winner gets a $10 gift card to wherever they want.
Right. I will also throw in a Grateful Dead cassette tape from any show spanning the 60s to the 90s that you may want or not want. It's a cassette tape, though, so you're going to find a cassette tape.
How awesome is that?
Yes, I'll drop one in the box for you.
You get a Grateful Dead cassette, you get a $10 gift card, and all you have to do is leave a 5-star review. And this week's theme, because we're going to try to make this fun, the theme is going to be movie trailer reviews.
All right.
So something along the lines of, in a world of lame podcast comes the lamest one you've ever heard. As long as it's 5 stars, we're good.
Yes, that's right.
If you're super lazy, and no shame because I'm kind of lazy myself, there'll be a write-up in the Facebook group about it, and we'll even have like an example review, so you can just cut and paste that one if you want. Yeah,
well, you're probably not going to win if you're cutting and pasting.
Probably
though, but I'm
not,
just saying.
But hey, you'll be eligible.
Yeah. But we just need reviews and ratings, so you guys, you got to help us out, man. If you've ever said, hey, John, you're funny, you need to write a book, this is as close as you're going to get. So because writing a book entails me doing a lot more work than sitting here talking. So
now, to keep everybody honest, next week when we pick the winner, we will announce the winner, and we need you to email the show saying, hey, you picked my review. Give us your name, give us an address where you want us to send your prize to. And to keep everybody honest, we will then email you back a secret password.
Right.
You go and update your review. iTunes will remember it because you can only leave one review per Apple ID.
Right, yeah.
So basically,
and most of those he read were from us anyways, just to pull the curtain back so you know.
So basically, you go put that secret password into your review, and as soon as it shows, we'll have your prize out, and everything will be hunky-dory.
That's right.
So it costs you nothing. You literally have nothing to lose, and you have a Grateful Dead cassette and a $10 gift card to your choice of business to gain. So what are you waiting for?
That's right.
Well, this has been another episode of Earth Oddity. We thank you for listening, no matter where you're listening to us. Join the Facebook group. Make sure to write into the show. Write into us at earthoddity@planetmail.net. You can follow us on Instagram. That's Earth_Oddity_podcast.
Right.
You can follow us on Twitter @_EarthOddity. And man, y'all have a great week. We thank y'all so much for listening. Sometimes I listen back to this and I'm like, man, Tiny, you're an idiot. What do you think you're doing? But then, I
think about that too.
But then, some people for some reason listen to us.
That's right.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah, most of you are related to us, but thank you.
Well, we'll catch y'all next week.
Leave us a review.
This has been a Very Odd production. Thanks for listening.